at Inheritance of Hope, we do believe it is plain wrong for families to face terminal illness alone or to feel isolated by terminal illness. And we also believe the whole family is the one going through the diagnosis. There are so many families who are facing this. 562 children, I know we use this a lot, will lose a parent today to terminal illness. And that should spur us on. It shouldn't make us shrink back like, oh, it's so many. Well, yeah, my God's bigger than that. So let's go. Like, what can you do to help make that change? Because we all play a part in it. So thankful for that experience and how the Lord does not waste our pain. Romans 8:28 says, in all things, God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. And all of that is so that we can grow to be more like Christ. So he has used this pain of cancer and my dad's death to bring joy.
Yeah.
And to now I see so much good out of it for my family and now being able to work for Inheritance of Hope.
Welcome to the Inheritance of Hope podcast. Every day, 562 children lose a parent to terminal illness. They shouldn't have to face that alone. You can pretend to avoid the painful realities of illness, grief, and death, or you can deal with the real stuff in caring community. On the podcast, people in Inheritance of Hope's community share raw, personal stories of pain, trials, and the shadow of death, which are also stories of joy in terminal illness. Find more Inheritance of Hope community at inheritanceofhope.org. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Inheritance of Hope podcast. My name is Ellie and I'll be the host of today's episode, and I'm joined with a lovely coworker of mine, and we honestly haven't overlapped a ton in our roles just because we're on different programs and everything. So I'm really excited for this conversation because I feel like I'll get to know her better, but also to let you as the listeners in and just hearing her beautiful story. I'll pass the mic over to you and you can introduce yourself.
Thank you. My name is Natalie Belsick, and I live in Jacksonville, Florida. I have a fabulous husband. His name's Paul. We've been married for 9 years. 2 children, Lily, who is 8, Lucas, who is 7. And before Inheritance of Hope, I was a high school teacher for 17 years. And then transitioned to this beautiful job, and I am now currently the Hope Hub Operations Coordinator with Inheritance of Hope.
I love that. Yeah, so Jacksonville, Florida represents a large population for Inheritance of Hope. I feel like I have FOMO every time I hear someone say that they're from Jacksonville. That's where it's at.
Yes, it's quite happening here with Inheritance of Hope. Lots of support and love, and people who serve and people who have been served.
Yeah. Oh, well, and I'm a little jealous of the weather too. I'm a Minnesota gal. Most of my life I've lived in the Midwest, so it's always like cold winters. And so it's funny to be on calls with coworkers who live in Florida. And I'm like, it's negative 20 here. And you're like, oh, it's 60 and sunny today.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, well, I would love to hear how you first heard about Inheritance of Hope, because this is kind of a second career for you if you were in a different field for so long and made that transfer. So kind of tell us the origin story of how Natalie found Inheritance of Hope.
Okay, it was actually such a God thing. So I'm standing in my classroom, it's 2010, and my friend Jill wanted to come visit me to talk to me about Inheritance of Hope and a legacy retreat that she really needed extra help on. So it was the first legacy retreat where we served 16 families. So we had bumped up from 8 to 16 in Orlando, Florida. So she came and told me what Inheritance of Hope was about. I was so moved. And of course, I was like, how in the world could I volunteer? I'm going to be so emotional. And she was just so encouraging of God is going to equip you. Just show up And I was like, okay, I'm doing this. So I went and served at my first retreat in Orlando, Florida, and I was hooked ever since. Just
Mm.
being able to get to know these families, other people who wanted to serve alongside me and just honor the Lord in that, it really changed my life. And I saw the 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 mission and the vision of Inheritance of Hope, and that it actually truly did bring community and hope to families facing the loss of a parent through terminal illness. It always sounded pretty to me, and I think that's what can be hard sometimes is things can sound so pretty, and it's like, well, does it actually help? Does it
Mm.
actually influence people? And then I was able to see firsthand with the family that I got to serve. They were so beautiful, such a beautiful family who loved the Lord. 3 kids, mom and a dad. The mom was the one that had a terminal illness. And just getting to hear their story and getting to really become a family with them
Mm.
was something that I didn't expect. I was going there to help them, and I didn't realize all of the joy and love that I was gonna receive from a family, and so that was a huge eye-opening experience for me, and the beautiful thing about that family is the mom, the Lord did heal her while she was
Wow.
here on this earth, and she is still with us. I have gotten wedding invitations, baby shower invitations for her kids, but I think the most special thing is she came back to serve with me on a retreat in New York, and just the way that she was able to love on other people, and it also is such a testament to Inheritance of Hope, the Lord and Inheritance of Hope, of what it meant to her that she was so willing to come back and be a part of the serving team so that she could impact other families and build that community with people who get it.
Mm.
So, yeah, back when I was 24 years old, which was a long time ago, I got hooked and just never wanted to stop being a part of such an amazing organization.
Mm. Yeah, I love that. And actually, I feel like you pinpointed a good dynamic that I feel like I'm trying to watch my language in because I feel like oftentimes I say the families we serve. And that is a good description. It tells part of the story. But what you just said is like, man, they also serve and they are like teaching us so much. It's not just like, oh, you poor, pitiful people who are like victims and can't do anything for yourself. Let us come rescue you. It's like, oh my word. No, like you have to show up with so much emotional bravery to like make a legacy video or to show
Mhm.
up and be vulnerable on a retreat and like recognize, yeah, this is hard and I'm going with other people I don't know. This is going to be maybe
Right.
uncomfortable. It's like, whoa, like I feel like I want a new term or new language to say, yeah, we're like partnering with these families and they're teaching us in return. They are showing up with so much and we're like holding hands and partnering together. It's not like you are
Mhm.
receiving a service because you can't do anything on your own. It's like, no,
Right.
you are so brave showing up here and we like get to partner in that work with you. But like,
Mhm.
you guys are so good. And like, yeah, I love that story of what you shared of like, they taught you so much. You're not just there to serve, but like you received so much in that.
Yes, and I think that is one of the most beautiful things about that moment in my life. It really was a turning point in what it actually meant to serve because when you go and you want to serve these families, you really don't expect all that they're gonna be giving to you. Like, these people trusted me with their children, and I have a family for life. Like, it's just they are just such beautiful people, and the fact that they were willing to open up their hearts to someone they did not know
Yeah.
was just it's a testament to who they are as human
Hmm.
beings.
Yes. Yeah, I feel like that plays into so many previous episodes we've had, like even with Jen and Mike Parcio talking about like the vulnerability of being on the receiving end of help, but also like Paul and Ellen Benson talking about how they show up and they feel ill-equipped, but they are so
Mhm.
blessed and it doesn't even feel like a sacrifice to like give financially or show up to another retreat or like get connected to this other family. It doesn't feel like a sacrifice because of so much that you're getting in return.
And It's interesting that you say, like financially, it doesn't feel like such a sacrifice. And I do believe that is absolutely true. So after I had served, I saw how responsible Inheritance of Hope was financially. So I've been a monthly giver for a long, long time. And that's not like to toot my own horn or anything, because it is hard when you're a teacher's salary and it's like, okay, here you go. But it was well, obviously, I have my beliefs about all of our money. Paul's and my money belongs to the Lord. So everything is his. So what I do with it is a stewardship and an honor back to him. And we both just could not imagine withholding that from giving to Inheritance of Hope when we see the fruit of the labor of all that is done, when we see the impact and the change and the kids. So I love children, obviously, and I was a high school teacher for 17 years. Like, I just love children, and really the impact that Inheritance of Hope has on the whole family,
Mhm.
and watching these children find other kids who know what they're going through. If I had millions of dollars, I would want to give it. Obviously, that's
Yes.
not how the Lord has blessed us, and that's fine. But just every single penny I know is used to, one, glorify the Lord, and two, just show these families just the community that they can have. And one thing that I think is so powerful for the kids in particular is there's two stories I want to share. One is a legacy retreat story, and then one's a Hope Hub story. So the legacy retreat story is, I remember these kids coming in and they're so quiet. They're so like not willing to open up quite yet. Like, that's a scary thing for the kids too. Like, it's like,
Mhm.
wait, you're going to put me with a whole bunch of kids. My parents are somewhere else. Like, what's going on? And the bond that is created, that then is sustained for years to come through these kids, is beautiful. They decided, we had like these books, and that's kind of where the curriculum was, and all these things. They were so sweet. At the end of the retreat, they all had their books and they were signing them like yearbooks so that they could remember each other, remember their stories, remember phone numbers so that they could stay connected. It was just so powerful because they were with kids who knew what it was like to feel what they were feeling. I mean, in all honesty, to help their parents with some medical needs. I mean, we had kids helping with, urinary bags and all types of things, and they were able to discuss that type of stuff together. Like, oh, you do that for your mom? I do that too.
Mm.
It was just so, so impactful. And then with Hope Hub, so I serve in Hope Hub Jacksonville, and I love teenagers. So I'm in the teenage group. The things that have impacted me the most there is watching, there's a teenager there that I've connected with, and I just love her deeply. And watching her actually open up and decide to be vulnerable with me and with other kids after being quiet for honestly many, many months
Hmm.
was absolutely beautiful. And one of the things that they had said, which struck my heart, and I'm so grateful for this, is no one's mean to them in school, is what they were saying. It's not like anyone's mean, but ever since their parent was diagnosed and there were physical changes, their friends quit coming over. Their
Hmm.
friends quit wanting to hang out because they didn't know how to come alongside them. It was awkward for them. And so that not only were they dealing with, their parent being terminally ill, now they're losing friendships and feeling lonely. And now that they're in Hope Hub, they're not lonely anymore. They have each other. And it's just amazing to watch these kids really come together and just be such a support system for each other. So I love it.
That is so powerful. I love the signing the books like yearbooks. That's so
That's so
sweet.
cute.
Yes.
My goodness.
And it reminds me of another episode we had with Micah Douglas. He was talking about how when his dad had ALS, they were in this tiny school with nice kids, like no one was bullying, but it was like no other kids understood what it was like to like, okay, I have to go change my dad's clothes because he made a mess and like because he doesn't have function over some body parts and like he now has to step into a role that no one else in his school had to do. And so, like, talk about feeling isolated and, like,
Mhm.
dealing with enough at home and then now dealing with changes at school. And, like, as a teenager, you're already kinda going through it. If, like, you have no other factors, even what's happening, like, your hormones and things changing, like, that's already a tumultuous time of life. And so to
Yes.
add these things, it is such a relief that we have programming to step in and say, "You're not alone." And actually, I do that for my dad too, or like, "Yeah, my mom is sick too, and I understand what you're going through." And I feel like that's incredible that Inheritance of Hope has communities of other people who get it, where you don't have to, like, tell someone the complicated story or just, like, sometimes it's easier not to, like, tell someone the full story because it's like, you probably won't understand anyways, and I don't wanna
Mhm.
waste my breath. So to show up month after month to Hope Hub and connect with people and hear those stories, yeah, that of course someone's gonna, like, kinda come out of their shell because, like, being seen and known does that to people, you know? I love that.
Yes. And in reality, it's just how the world works. We could not do any of this and provide this without our donors
Mm.
at all. And so that's why it it really is such a powerful everyone can serve in their own way. Whether you're praying for us, whether you're physically serving or whether you're financially supporting. It takes a village, and I just think it's such a precious thing that people have come alongside Inheritance of Hope, and I really do want them to see the impact they are making. Like, this is life-changing impact. This is puts a kid on a trajectory of having hope through all of this rather than just feeling isolated. Now schoolwork's getting worse or, all of the things. So just so grateful and thankful for the Inheritance of Hope community.
Yes. Yeah, and actually something just popped into my mind that I've heard before, but it was kind of reinforced. I was just in New York City for a work conference, and it was called Life and Death in New York City. And we gathered with a lot of like death doulas, hospice chaplains, people in the grief and dying space, essentially. And there was a doctor there, and she was sharing how people who describe themselves as lonely or isolated are exponentially more at risk of diabetes, heart disease, early death. Like, there is a physical repercussion of isolation and loneliness. And so, like you said, putting a child on the trajectory away from that and saying, like, you have community. We are here for you. There is hope. And we talk about finding joy in terminal illness. It's not that you are joyful about the terminal illness, but you can experience joy in the midst of that through community, through legacy building and memory making. Like, it's a beautiful space, even when it's hard. And so like when you're talking about the donor impact or like volunteering or praying for us, like, you really can't put a price tag on that of like you're setting these kids up for success or you're helping families in a really, really deep, significant way because there's such a mind, body, soul connection. And if you've heard of ACEs, like adverse childhood experiences, it's kind of crazy how like it's essentially a score sheet where you fill out like, yes, I experienced this in my childhood, this. And based on that score, it kind of predicts it has some prediction, like it's not set in stone, but like the physical impacts, like people with a higher ACEs score have more tendency to be physically sick in their life. And so for this, if it's like you can counteract that with community
Mhm.
and hope and joy and beauty in the midst of trials, like, wow, that is like a life-changing difference. So good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. I feel like we just like went on the pulpit there and started preaching. I want to circle back. Okay. So you served at a legacy retreat and then tell us, like, kind of fill in the gap between that point and, you're now on staff working with Hope Hubs. What was that in between time?
So in between time, I was able to do 8 more retreats and I just ate it up. I loved it. It was so wonderful. And then life changes happened. So I wasn't able to physically serve like I used to. And so, we were giving financially, praying, and things like that. And then the Lord brought this opportunity of being a part of Hope Hub. And let me tell you, I absolutely love teaching. 100%. My students were amazing. It was just such a great time in life. I did not realize the shift that God was going to have me do, that it would be just as joyful. I was very nervous to take this leap, but I knew I love Inheritance of Hope so much and what they are about. And I love kids. And so I was able to see the connection between teaching and becoming a part of Inheritance of Hope staff. And so when that transition was made, it really just kind of brought me back home. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, like, I loved teaching. That was a home as well. But this was just different. And so now being able to actually physically be a part of Inheritance of Hope staff to help push out Hope Hubs. We are wanting 100 across America. Like, that is our Super Bowl goal. And I know, of course, with the help of Christ and us being obedient to Him and how we do things, we will achieve that goal. And there's going to be such an impact for us, the families in the kingdom, and the fact that God transitioned me from impacting the kingdom in the classroom to now do it on this type of scale. I am just so grateful that He allows me to be a part of it. Like, it's amazing. And on top of that, my kids are all like an Inheritance of Hope swag, and they're just so excited about it. And this job is just so family centered. Just a little toot toot to Inheritance of Hope. I do feel that I'm much more, I don't know the word. Trying to think. I'm just much more available. That's the word I'm looking for. I am much more available to my family while also doing a job that just brings me so much joy. So grateful, so thankful. It really is. It's amazing. Can't believe the full circle that happened. And I also, I know God is so intentional with how He plans our lives. And so just being able to see lessons learned through teaching that also helps me be able to use those skills in Hope Hub is also just so neat.
Yeah, no kidding. I feel like I have a very similar experience because I was working in the hospital in a job that I trained for like 5 years to do, moved across the country for different internships and all these things, got certified, was finally in the hospital, experienced burnout right away. Like I was not, I was so disappointed of like, I worked all this time and like, Lord, what is going on? I thought you brought me here into this field. And then I remember feeling like, okay, I'm working part-time at the hospital. I'm working part-time at Inheritance of Hope. And I feel led towards quitting the hospital. And I don't really know why. I feel kind of fractured having like 2 part-time jobs and like living in 2 different worlds. I was like, wait, Lord, are you sure? I don't really know. I'm just going to hold it. And then I had to like pick up a minimum number of shifts. So every month I was just picking up the minimum number and feeling like I kept praying like, but Lord, I'm just keeping the door open. You know how hard it would be to enter back into this role if I leave it? And I was just like, I'm just keeping my foot in the door. And finally I felt Him say like, Ellie, your foot is getting bruised in the door because I'm trying to close it and it's like keep getting stuck on your foot. Will you trust me if you take your foot out that I will close the door, and if I have it to open it again later in the future, do you trust that I'm like able to open that door later? And I was like, oh, wow, okay. So I'm going to take my foot out. I quit the hospital. And then, it wasn't much longer until my hours increased at Inheritance of Hope. I started like diving in more. And I can't tell you how much more fulfilled I feel in this role because it feels like a ministry.
Yes.
It's hard. I don't know if you relate to this, but I was talking to just some friends who are kind of not content in their jobs. And they're like, Ellie, you really like your job, right? I was like, yeah, honestly, like if I remember it was a holiday or like 4th of July or something, like we had off, and I was sad that I couldn't work. Like everyone was like, "Woo, we're out of here." And it's not just a job where you like clock in, clock out, recover from, like it's a drag. And like you said, being a monthly giver while on staff, like everyone at Inheritance of Hope, staff, volunteers, they're so generous financially
Mhm.
too. I feel like because it's more than just a job that you do to pay the bills and that's it. It's like, no, we're bought in to the stories of the people that we're, okay, not the people we're serving, the people we're partnering with, right? I need to change
Yeah, I
that
love it. I
language.
love it. I love it.
Yes. So I don't know. That was a lot, but I feel like I resonate a lot with your story. And I don't know if that settles with you at all.
It absolutely does because any change, especially like, it's not like I didn't love teaching. Like I loved it, but it was like the Holy Spirit was urging me to change into something different. Not that he didn't think teaching was great, but this was where he was calling me to. And it just blows my mind that we get to be a part of his story in his work because he doesn't need any of us. He doesn't need any of us, but he chooses to use us and to give me and you an avenue to show his love, to do something that we love to do, and, to help support our family. It really is a blessing that's hard to describe in words.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very hard to leave teaching, very hard. But I know that God was doing the door shutting,
Mm-hmm.
and you take that step of faith, not knowing what will happen, but knowing that God has got you in the palm of his hands. And then there you go. Then he takes you and he runs with it. And there's all these God stories throughout. And I've only been here for just over a year. There's
Wow.
just so much joy in God's stories and work that is life-changing.
Right. I know if I'm ever asked for like an impact story, I have the hardest time narrowing it down because I'm like, I have 20 per program. Like, how am I supposed to just tell
Right.
you one impact story? Because they're every single day in every single program that Inheritance of Hope offers. Lives are being changed, hope is being renewed. Like, it is incredible work. And it's so hard to just pinpoint something like one poignant story because
Mhm.
there's just too many. So yes. And I think there's something to be said, like for both of our stories of just when you feel that nudge or you feel that the Spirit is moving, there is something to be said for like following that nudge and just having the faith that okay, Lord, it's your story. I'm a part of it, and I'm trusting that you are going to lead me where you have me going. And I feel like that can even be applied to the families who are hesitant to sign up for a retreat
Mhm.
or to make a legacy video. And they feel that nudge of like, no, I want to do this. I know I'm kind of feeling called into this, or even like volunteering or giving financially, especially, like, okay, my schedule is full enough. How am I supposed to volunteer? Or like, the economy is bad. How am I supposed to give extra money to this? But just like if you
Mhm.
trust that the Lord is nudging you and you follow that and just know like, okay, God, my schedule is in your hands. My money is in your hands. And it's not even mine to begin with. Like, this is borrowed time.
Right.
This is borrowed finances. So let me be a good steward for the work that you have and trust that like it's bigger than me. Yeah. And Ellen Benson on their episode, she was saying, we are just gloves on the hand of God and that we aren't the ones doing the work, but we're kind of just like an accessory. We get to go along with it if we're able and willing to be a vessel. So I think that's just a really sweet concept that I hope this is like inspiring to people as they are listening to just follow along to that nudge.
Yes. I think that the comment I get the most when it comes to people wanting to step forward and volunteer is, and I felt this way too, I just don't feel emotionally ready. I don't feel equipped. I don't feel. And a lot of times we make decisions based off of our feelings, and that is not what God calls us to do. Because if we made all our decisions based off of our feelings, we're going to be doing what Natalie wants. And I'm not going to be doing what the Lord wants. And please forgive me because I would need to Google where it is, but I love the story in the Bible when they're carrying the Ark of the Covenant and the water is just rushing and raging. And the Lord told them, step into the water and I will calm it. Then you can cross. It wasn't, I'll calm it, then you step in. So a lot of times we have to, despite what we see, despite what we feel, we have to take that step knowing God's already got all of it to calm the waters. He's got it all in process. So to take that step of faith in Christ, why wouldn't he equip you when that's what he promises us? He
Mm-hmm.
promises to equip you. So you've got to lay those feelings aside and say, despite how I feel, I will listen to truth and I will step forward in faith, either in serving or in giving or setting aside time each day to pray. Whether you set a timer it's 10:36 right now, at least in Jacksonville, Florida it is. At 10:36, I'm going to set a timer and I'm going to be praying for inheritance of hope and the families and all of that. You know, there's just a lot we can do when we decide not to go off of our feelings. And we who are the glove, we let God just use us however.
Yes. Yeah, I feel like this is probably a saying that a lot of people have heard. I don't know the origins of it, but it's God does not call the equipped. He equips the
Mm,
called. And
mhm.
that is so true. And honestly, open any page of the Bible, I feel like you're going to see a coward on the page saying like, Lord, I can't do this. And like, Moses, like, I can't do this. I stutter. I can't lead a group of people. I can't do public speaking. And I feel like we often like let that cowardness kind of come out to play or that fear. And I'm not saying that's not valid. It's so valid. Like, okay, if you have a
Mhm.
stutter, public speaking is maybe not the next obvious step in your career. But for Moses, God was like, okay, I hear that, and I'm going to equip you. I'm going to use your brother to do the speaking, but I need you to still step up because I called you
Right.
to this, and I will make a way. Yeah, so like opening any page of the Bible, honestly, there's so many stories where humans say, I can't do it. And God's like, I know you can't. I can, and I'm going to use you. So like, if you are willing, you can be a part of this incredible story.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so let me circle back to Hope Hub because I feel like we've talked about it a lot on this call. Obviously, that's your wheelhouse and inheritance of hope.
Mhm.
So, for someone who's never heard of Hope Hub or is maybe confused by what it is, just give us the whole spiel, what it is, why it's important, what you do, and why you love it.
Okay. Yay. Yay for Hope Hub. So, Hope Hub is a local monthly gathering for families to come find community and to be with other people who get it. Because at Inheritance of Hope, we do believe it is plain wrong for families to face terminal illness alone or to feel isolated by terminal illness. And we also believe the whole family is the one going through the diagnosis. So we've got such great programming throughout Inheritance of Hope. And then this one was developed because what families were saying at legacy retreats is, this is it. I know you now, and then maybe we'll keep in touch, hopefully, which they do through social media platforms and things like that. But there's just such power in being together in person and such value in it. So, Hope Hub strives to serve families in the cities to have that gathering where they can come be themselves, talk about hard things or not talk about hard things and have a great time having a meal together. We provide a meal each month. We're working hard on getting sponsorships for those to help relieve some of the financial costs for that. So if anyone would like to sponsor a Hope Hub meal, let me know. And we also provide games. There's resources for how to have hard conversations and things like that. And so on a Hope Hub night, volunteers come an hour early, set up. We do a devotion together, talk about, how God's going to equip you for the hard, as well as just the joy of getting to know these beautiful people. Then families arrive and we'll have our meal together. Then we'll usually do a large group activity and just enjoy playing a game or doing things like that. Then we'll split up into small groups, and kids are split up by ages. And then there's the parent group where they can just hang out and be together. We also have other types of outings too. Like in Jacksonville, we went to a baseball game together. So we try to also do some other memory making with fun outings and something we call our summer shift. Like I know Lakeland went and had an ice skating night, which, oh my gosh, everyone enjoyed. So we try to do some memory making, fun, have the door open for any conversations that want to be had. Then Kendra Scott is just such a beautiful partner with us. So in September, we do our color bar night, and they sponsor that night for us where they bring the color bar for the families to be able to make a piece of jewelry. And we talk about emotions that night through the color wheel and just kind of tie it into that. And it's just such a great time together. It's something to look forward to once a month for families. Like, one, I don't have to cook. I can go have a meal and just sit with people who know what I'm going through and loving volunteers who want to know what I'm going through.
Right. That's so good too, because I feel like just as a human, a good way to kind of survive the monotony of life and the bills and the things you have to show up for is always having something to look forward to. And if you are a family facing a terminal diagnosis, do you have the energy to always be planning or paying or, like, no, you're probably like surviving day to day, minute by minute, just, okay, pay this medical bill. I have to go to this doctor's. These scans were bad. Like, do you have capacity to be planning a skating night? Maybe not. Maybe you do,
Right.
but like the fact that Hope Hub takes that burden off and say, here's something to look forward to. You just show up and we have a meal, we have activities, we have conversations with other adults or other kids. And that's such a beautiful thing. And I didn't even think about it in that way because I feel like just for all of our mental health, so like having a vacation to look forward to or a concert we're going to is so good. And I love that Hope Hub does that. And I haven't thought about that aspect before.
No one wants to face terminal illness, but the reality is more and more parenting-age people are being diagnosed with cancer and other illnesses, and every day in the U.S. alone, 562 kids will experience the heartbreaking loss of a parent due to terminal illness. But here's the good news. You don't have to face it alone. Join a hope-filled community of care that truly gets it. Whether you're living with illness or navigating life after loss, find comfort in local gatherings, ongoing support, and compassionate volunteers. And the impact? It's life-changing. Families are getting connected, finding hope, and changing the way they navigate illness and loss, because together, hope is possible right in your own city. Find connection at inheritanceofhope.org.
And Hope Hub serves families facing the loss. Well, partners, we're going to change it to that because I love that. Partners with families facing the loss of a parent, but we also are for life after loss as well. I know in Jacksonville, we have a nice group of widows that come together. My mom, my sweet mom, she helps with the widows group. She's a widow herself. And so we want to be there for after loss as well. That's what's a little bit different about our programming compared to some of the others. We do have other, like the Life After Loss program and Hope at Home groups, the online groups. But this is for everyone. And what I have found, especially for the caregivers too, their week is so heavy caregiving for kids and for their spouse. Widows, now that they're a single parent, it's a lot. So to have a night where their kids are off playing and they're able to have just that adult time and adult conversation, I love watching it. It's so cute. It's like, yes, there's your new best friends. I love it. We love it. So yeah, that's something that's unique and special about Inheritance of Hope.
Yes.
Hope Hub with Inheritance of Hope.
Yeah, I love, love, love that we have programming for life after loss because, we handle the anticipatory grief side of things. Like you have this diagnosis, something is coming and you're in this tension of the in-between. I feel like I'm referencing so many previous episodes. I've just had so many amazing guests with such good wisdom. But I had a guest, Jacqueline, she was saying, living with metastatic breast cancer, people are saying, okay, yeah, anyone can get hit by a bus at any point and die. She was like, living with metastatic or, a terminal illness is like you are in the road and you see that bus is coming and you can't get out of the way. And I thought that was such a powerful statement because it's like, okay, we are there for you when you see that the bus is coming and you can't step out of the way and you still have time, but you're living with this like threat that is impacting your family. So I love that we have programming for that because that's can honestly be a terrible time of life.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's not like, okay, we got you, and then when you lose your person, good luck finding other resources. It's like, nope, you're still in the community. You have all these people. We've still got you. Like, keep coming, Especially because this is another form of grief that is equally or even harder than the anticipatory grief. And so just knowing like, yep, there's a space for you. You're not losing these friendships. You're not having to expend the energy to go and try to find support elsewhere. We have online support groups. We have these monthly gatherings. Yeah, don't go anywhere. It's so good. Okay, I feel like I want to take this direction or this conversation 3 different directions. So I need to funnel it in. But before we move past talking about Hope Hubs, I want to take this opportunity to ask, what are the biggest needs in Hope Hub right now? Because I feel like this is a valuable opportunity for people listening who are maybe getting that nudge of signing up to show up to a Hope Hub or donate so that these can happen or volunteer. You have the microphone. Tell the listeners, like, how can people partner with Hope Hubs right now?
It is such a great question because we're the youngest program of Inheritance of Hope, and we definitely could use some love, to be honest. So first, and this is not the cheesy answer, this is very serious. We need you who love the Lord to pray for us. Because God, of course, can do anything and everything without us, but He allows us to partner with Him, even though He's the one doing all the work. He lets us be a part of it. Please be praying for us, the volunteers that are working, the families that we're serving, the funds that we're receiving, how we use those funds to the honor of the Lord. So prayer is, in my opinion, first and foremost, something that everyone can do, and it's so important. Jesus made a way for us to talk to God. Let's use it. Like, how blessed are we? So let's communicate with our Savior and tell Him what we need and thank Him for what we do have. We have 5 hubs. So we have Jacksonville, Austin, Lakeland, Twin Cities, and DC. So thank you, Jesus, that we have those 5 cities. What a blessing. But we want to grow. There are so many families who are facing this. 562 children. I know we use this a lot. Will lose a parent today to terminal illness. And that should spur us on. It shouldn't make us shrink back like, oh, it's so many. Well, my God's bigger than that. So let's go. Like, what can you do to help make that change? Because we all play a part in it. So prayer, we would love to be supported financially. It's $200 to feed the volunteers and families each month. So that's 5 hubs times 200. So things cost money. They just do. And we want to make things special. So we'll get them like a family gift for the month to take home. Or we want to do an ice skating night where they don't have to worry because medical bills are expensive. I think a lot of us know that. So financially partnering with us truly makes this happen. And you can look on our website and see where every dollar goes. Like, we've got our pie chart, and we have wonderful leadership who are led by the Lord, and you can see the percentages of what your money goes to. So financially partnering with us. And then the third way I'm going to say 4. The third way is to volunteer. Please don't let yourself be held back from getting to experience the joy of the Lord by volunteering. Because like I said, all of those 8 retreats I was on, now serving in Hope Hub, now working for Inheritance of Hope, the blessings that I have received, the lessons that I've learned, I would not be the same person without doing these things for the Lord to grow and change me to become more like Christ through this. And then 4 that I just thought of, thank you, Jesus, please tell people about us. Spread the word. People don't know who we are. And that is sad. We want them to know who we are. We want them to know that we're available. So obviously, it can happen organically in a conversation, but getting our name out there and what we do and referring families, or of someone who loves the Lord and wants to serve but not sure where they should plug in, tell them about Inheritance of Hope. Spreading the word of mouth is much more powerful, in my opinion, than any advertising we can do, because a human who says this is a great place, that's a much more trustworthy word than, oh, I saw it on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So please, please share about Inheritance of Hope. All our programming, every family who is facing the loss of a parent should be able to be involved with us and find the hope that we have and want to give through Christ.
Yeah, so good. I love that you shared all that. You have the space to share. I really am hopeful and prayerful that people listening to this are compelled.
Mm-hmm.
And in the description box in every episode, there's always a link to our website where you can find all about our resources, our services, volunteering you can find on there as well. And there's another link to give. So click that button today. Just do what the Lord is compelling you to do in this. And I know this is sounding like a rabbit trail, but stick with me. But a few years ago, I really wanted to become more financially literate. And so I started doing deep dives into books and podcasts and online courses and stuff like that, just so that I could wrap my head around it. And almost every single course I did or podcast I listened to was let there be room in your budget for courses, for books, for these things. Go to events and conferences where your money is going to be quadrupled the impact because you went or you invested in that book. That there should always be room in your budget so that you can gain more financial literacy, so you can do more with your money. And so to tie that in, when you were talking about going on retreats, what you got out of that kind of reminded me of that. There should always be margin in your life for things like this, where it's yes, it will cost you something, but it will become exponentially worth it in the lessons you learn, the character that's developing you, the empathy that you will acquire through brushing shoulders with people going through some of the worst days of their life. That is part of the equipping. And so if it means spending some money or going and spending a day once a month to make sure that these families have a meal, an activity, and someone to talk to who actually cares, that is so exponentially worth it. So that's not financial advice per se, but I love that concept and I want to apply it here. And I think what you just shared is so good. If you are working with a food company and you want to sponsor the food for Hope Hubs across the US each month, let's do it. If you have money,
we will eat it.
Yes. Yes. If you have something to give, show up with it and see how the Lord will multiply it. The fish and the loaves, show up with little and the Lord will turn it into much.
562 children will lose a parent to terminal illness today. That's 562 families facing heartbreak, fear, and uncertainty. They shouldn't have to face it alone. At Inheritance of Hope, we help families find moments of joy, hope, and lasting memories, even in the midst of terminal illness. This Thanks Plus Giving season, your gift does more than just bring comfort. It's matched dollar for dollar, doubling your impact. Together, we can make sure no child walks this journey without support. Give joy in terminal illness. Visit inheritanceofhope.org to make your matched gift now.
One thing I want to touch on before we start wrapping up is you mentioned, your mom is a widow and now she helps with the widows group. So I would love to hear your experience with the loss and how it has been part of the equipping to do this work that is emotionally taxing. You do get close to people, and then maybe, that family experiences a loss. So you lose a friend in the process. Like, it is hard but meaningful work. So what has the role of experiencing loss yourself gone into the role you're doing now?
It is such a great question. It's such a great question. You think you know until you know. And it's kind of like when I was a teacher. I loved teaching. I loved my students. When I had children, I was a much different teacher because I knew what I didn't know before. Well, serving with Inheritance of Hope, I absolutely loved it. And I loved my families, and I ached for them and rejoiced with them in a lot of different areas. I didn't know what I didn't know until my dad was diagnosed with glioblastoma. So it didn't come out that way right away. My sweet sister had found him in his home. He was not doing well. He actually was not really conscious at all. I mean, he was brain dead when he was we had to fly him to the hospital. Not we, the people. Flew him to the hospital. They did brain surgery, and then all of a sudden he's responding. It was like absolutely amazing. It was a really great time for our family. I say that, obviously a heavy time, but it was such a sweet time. We did not know exactly what was going on. Then a couple months later, we found out it was actually glioblastoma. So what had happened was one of the tumors had burst.
Wow.
And that's why he fell and was unconscious for however long. So now that I work for Inheritance of Hope, what had happened was I hadn't worked for them yet. And when we found out he was diagnosed, I just knew based on what I had learned from my families, and if I get emotional, I'm sorry. Whoopsie. Actually, I know this is okay. I just, when you hear someone crying on a podcast, it's like, okay, get past that part. What I'd learned from my Inheritance of Hope families was just making memories with what you got left. And so we did some really fun things with Dad. And he was stage 4. Obviously, glioblastoma is terminal. His was like he lived 1 month after he was diagnosed. But we did this huge dinner. Sorry.
You're good. Yeah.
Okay.
Take your time.
My dad thank you so much. My dad loves steak and he loves lobster. So my sweet brother-in-law were like, okay, we're going to do this huge dinner for Dad because he loves it. And, we had that huge dinner. We did Christmas early. When he had fallen and was in the hospital for so long, he had missed my nephew's graduation. So we reenacted it for him. It was so cute. My dad's a huge Florida fan. And so am I, born and raised. Through thick and thin, we're Florida fans. Well, my nephew graduated from UF, so we're playing the music, and my dad had a card for him, and my, I guess I'll call her my niece-in-law, she secretly, this is why I'm like, if you haven't done a legacy video, please do it. I've done one, and I am so thankful to have done one. So she did this video because her and my nephew were getting married, and she knew that, little grandpa was.
You're good. These are such sweet memories.
They're so sweet. I haven't thought about them in a while. So
yeah, let whatever come up. It's, so good.
So she filmed a well wish from little grandpa for their wedding. And at rehearsal, she had all gotten videos from us of wedding advice. And she didn't tell any of us that she had gotten it from little grandpa. And to hear his voice and to see his face and to just listen to him is something that we cherished so much. There was not a dry eye in the room. It was so special. So yeah, there's my little snippet for a legacy video. it's not about you. Like, you have got to humble yourself. Your family will love it forever and ever and ever. Same with legacy songs. So, with saying all of that, now that I have experienced a terminal cancer with a parent, obviously I was older when he passed. I know what dealing with hospice is like. I know we were with him when he passed. Just knowing experiencing all of that, now working for Inheritance of Hope, having conversations when I'm onboarding a family for Hope Hub, it's just so different, especially when I onboard a family who, when I say onboard, it's just getting their registration and chatting with them about it, who has experienced loss. And we talk about hospice and we talk about just different things. We get it. We're with each other and we get it. And so that's been such a game changer for me, and such a way the Lord has used my dad's cancer and death to let me know what I didn't know before. It's just, when you experience something like that, the whole phrase that we have of to be around others who get it, there's just, besides Jesus, of course, there's nothing more powerful than that. And I am thankful to have had the experience. I think it's very important that we're thankful in trials. That's another reason why I love this company, because James 1 is all about that. And that's like the foundation of this organization. I am thankful for that trial, because it's made me even different in my faith, and now different in how I come alongside these families and have conversation. So grateful. And it's also made me more intentional of what legacy I want to leave for my kids, because of the legacy my dad left for us.
Yeah.
He was a wonderful man and a hard worker. And I think the thing that I admire about him most is he is a chain breaker. From where he came from to what he was in his own home, chain breaker. So thankful for that experience, and how the Lord does not waste our pain. Romans 8:28 says, in all things, God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. And all of that is so that we can grow to be more like Christ. So he has used this pain of cancer and my dad's death to bring joy.
Yeah.
And to now, I see so much good out of it for my family, and now being able to work for Inheritance of Hope.
What if you could leave behind your voice, your laugh, your love, all in your own words? Inheritance of Hope Legacy Video Service gives you a priceless opportunity to share what matters most with your loved ones. With a legacy video coach handling all the logistics online, you create a lasting treasure for your family, one that's edited, securely backed up, and easy to share. It's completely free thanks to generous donors. Start your legacy video today at inheritancefhope.org.
Oh, Natalie, thank you so much. That feels like such a sacred space to enter into with you, of revisiting memories of like steak dinners and Florida music and all of the things. I feel like what a sweet reminder that it's not the flashy things in life. Like, money will not be able to buy you a good legacy. No,
Right.
no doubt about it. Like, your legacy is how you treat the people around you. The memories you make with when you're in a hospice room or a hospital bed or in your home or wherever. Like, it is your character. It is how you show up to things, the memories you make. Yeah. And so to like have those sweet memories of your dad, and knowing like it's so characteristic of everything he did for you and like the person he was, like, what an honor to even hear that. I feel so blessed by like being welcomed into those memories with you. They're so sweet.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's felt great to share that. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, we always end every episode with the same question. I feel like it ties in so well with what you just shared, but like, whose legacy has impacted you and the way that you live your life because of how they lived theirs?
That is such a great, great question. And there are so many people God has placed in my life to bring me to Christ through my circumstances and through people, to grow me in Christ, and just to show me what life's really all about. Because I want to honor my dad, he is definitely one of those people. The legacy I believe that he showed our family the most was being a chain breaker. So won't get into all the details, but childhood was not what I would want anyone to ever, ever, ever go through. And the fact that through Christ, my dad chose to rise above his circumstances and not let those define him, and to grow his home to be one of love and support. The confidence I have in myself, obviously I know comes from who I am in Christ, but it was instilled because of the father that I had and the mother that I had. So the way my dad loved us, the way he encouraged us, and the way I just never ever felt like there was not enough, he was too busy for me. And that man was busy. He was a lineman. That type of job is really, really difficult. He was climbing under houses. He was climbing in attics. He was climbing poles all day long. But I never met a tired dad at the door. I never met a dad who just needed a break, who just needed time alone. He just was always, it's like he was so thankful to God for the children and wife that God gave him, that he soaked it all up. And he did that because of his experience as a child and wanting something so different for his family. So his legacy, being a chain breaker, I think is one of the greatest impacts in my life.
That's so beautiful. I love that picture. And yeah, very inspiring, and like how he set your family up for success. And now, like, I love generationally, we can either like get better or worse. It's never really the same. And so for him to come from something and become better from that, and now that you can be like an even better mom, an even better wife, like because of the work that your dad did, and now you get to set your children up for that, like, is so powerful. That's what I love about legacy. I love asking this question because it is generational. We are not a silo. We are not an island. How we operate impacts generations. So I love that your dad did that in your generational line. That's so beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah. When we all get to heaven to be together, I am excited for him to see that because he chose to live on truth instead of based on his feelings of what happened to him, he changed the whole trajectory of a family. I can't wait for him to be able to see that he sees that.
Yes. Well, Natalie, I love working remote, but this is one of those times where I'm like, I wish we were just like, I could hug you right now, or we could hang out more. And I just got to go to Jacksonville. That's where it's at. But
yeah, it's warm. Come on. It's like 72 degrees right now. Come on.
It's like 30 here. So, man. Well, thank you so much for your time, your stories, and your vulnerability. I think this was such a beautiful episode. And I definitely will link info about Hope Hubs, about giving. Like, please follow the nudge and listen to what Natalie shared, and just really be willing to be a glove on the hand of God and partner with us and able to do that. So, well, thank you so much. I am really looking forward for people to hear this. And yeah, thanks for your time.
Thank you. It was such a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Hey, Kathy, I'm still right here, laughing loud at the life we share. Can't believe how fast it flew, all the steaks I grilled just for you. Mood bars chilling in the freezer bin, kids running wild, letting life pour in. Yeah, that's a funny thing right there. I don't care who you are, love's everywhere. I'm still cheering loud from up above, clapping along to the ones I love. From every game to the backyard tune, I see the moon, you see the moon. God's been good, that's plain and true, and I'm saving all my time for you. Funny thing right there, I don't care who you are. I'm laughing at the stay. I'm watching over every cheering play, smiling big in my heavenly way. Got my heart set on seeing you soon. I see the moon, you see the moon. God's been good.